This gang operates by strength rankings, with tattooed numbers on every member. The lower the number, the deadlier the fighter. Number 0 is the most terrifying. With a brutal reputation, no one can match him or dares to challenge him. This arrogant guy, ranked 31 himself, dares to challenge number 2? You're asking to die. A woman in a black robe approaches. She's no ordinary fighter. She removes her coat, revealing a 20 tattooed on her chest. Beat me first, punk. They clash. The woman fights savagely, delivering deadly blows to vital points. Her ponytail whips his face. She grabs his head, knees him hard, then flips behind him. A decisive finish to the fight. That's that. The man in sunglasses? He's the gang leader, known as Black Dragon. With numerous followers, he crossed the wrong man. An unassuming young man took down every top fighter on his roster. All because his elephant was stolen. Who is Tony? Steal my elephant? I'll wipe out your entire clan. He storms into the poacher's home. Upstairs, he finds the thief dead. Black Dragon's the mastermind. His nieces enter, see their dead uncle, and attack Tony, believing he's the killer. Alarms blare outside. To recover his elephant, Tony goes on the run. Tony seeks Brother Dog's help, but instead of aiding him, Dog demands, "Why were you at the victim's house?" Just then, bikers swarm in on motorcycles. Tony retreats to the rooftop. This swarm of thugs charged at Tony at full throttle like leeches. He sidestepped, sending the biker flying through the air. Tony seized the moment, delivering a crushing blow mid-air, then finished him off with a single kick. When more bikes came at him, Tony leaped off, but found even more below. A spectacular kneel slid him clear of impact. As another bike hurtled toward him, Tony dispatched it effortlessly with a roundhouse kick. No sooner had he dealt with that than another bike swung around, bearing the highest horsepower. Tony strained with all his might to hold it back. Just before smashing into steel plates, Tony ducked just in time, and the rider bit the dust instantly. Tony hit the ground and commandeered a bike. Then came an even more terrifying sight. Black Dragon had mobilized thousands to hunt Tony down, forcing him to flee on his motorcycle in a desperate escape. But eventually they caught up. Tony grabbed onto a car, only to find its driver was Black Dragon's man, who executed a death drift trying to shake him off. But against Tony's brute strength, it proved useless. Even after hundreds of drift attempts, suddenly a fuel tanker loomed ahead. Tony ducked just as pursuing vehicles smashed into the tanker, triggering a massive explosion that hurled the car from the inferno. Fortunately, Tony dodged in time. Learning this, Black Dragon deployed his second-ranked killer and had Brother Dog captured alive. Using Dog's phone, they messaged Tony to meet at the shipyard at 3 p.m. Arriving there, Tony found no sign of Brother Dog, just gangsters closing in tightly on him. The sisters also showed up, seeking vengeance on Tony. To their surprise, Tony's skills were exceptional. The elder sister launched into a duel with him. Tony stated plainly, "I didn't kill your uncle." But the sister snapped, "Won't hear a word of it." Meanwhile, the younger sister electrocuted Black Bear, but it barely fazed him. Against raw power, all fancy tricks are useless. Black Bear shoved him violently, landing a crushing punch to the chest. The final blow smashed into his face. That looks painful. This move matched the killer's technique from their uncle's murder. The elder sister charged at Black Bear, but was no match for him. Tony intercepted with a flying kick, knocking Black Bear down. The two elite fighters clashed head-on. As they battled furiously, the elder sister drew a poison dart. She fired it, but missed her target. It struck Tony instead. Now he's in trouble. With him poisoned, Black Bear gloated, "I can tank his punches." As Tony's vision blurred, Black Bear landed a massive uppercut. Tony collapsed unconscious. He awoke tied to a chair. Black Dragon made his entrance, demanding Tony join his syndicate. Tony refused outright, until Black Dragon revealed the elephant. Their shock collars were linked. Electrocuting Tony would also torture the elephant. The elephant would suffer too. Tony had to comply. Black Dragon branded Tony's chest with a number 1 insignia, second only to number 0 himself. A minion shadowed Tony 24/7 to prevent escapes. Any escape attempt would trigger the shock collar. But Tony smashed the shock device's control switch when his guard slipped, then had Dog help remove the shock collar. Black Dragon planned to offer the elephant to the president, with bombs concealed in its tusks, to eliminate all high-ranking officials at the ceremony. Tony arrived only to walk into Black Dragon's trap. Dozens of assassins surrounded him, but they were no match for Tony. The elder sister confronted Black Bear in a deadly duel. Overpowered by Black Bear's strength, she ignited spilled gasoline, causing a massive explosion. The flames barely fazed Black Bear. Falling flames ignited gasoline-slicked walls downstairs. engulfing the entire room in fire. Suddenly, Tony's legs transformed into blazing ham, tripling his combat power. His spinning kicks amplified the demon wind kick, terrorizing foes. An assassin mimicked the move, igniting his own feet, landing a flaming roundhouse kick that forced Tony back. His opponent's him seemed superior, enraging Tony, who retaliated with a face-shattering kick, sending him crashing down. Tony dispatched others brutally. Assassins wall ran to intensify their flaming kicks. Tony went berserk, kicking down enemies, shattering arms with brutal strikes, and hurling the last assassin into the fiery wall. Tony's overwhelming force secured victory. Emerging, Tony was blindsided by Black Bear's arrival, who slammed him against steel pipes before hurling him down. Unleashing a lethal combo of punches, Tony was utterly overwhelmed. Then a brutal kick snapped the steel pipe clean in half. Spotting Black Bear's vulnerability, Tony targeted his lower body, deflected the attack, then landed a spinning kick combo square on his skull, followed by a vicious knee strike and a face-shattering punch, shattering his ankle before delivering another roundhouse kick. Yet Black Bear remained standing, forcing Tony to unleash another barrage of strikes. Both crashed into the tunnel below, where Tony instantly dispatched Black Bear's charging henchmen. Suddenly rope-snared, Tony used an enemy as a springboard to launch the final assassin into oblivion. As Black Bear recovered, he kicked Tony flying. Seeing Tony's water-soaked feet, Black Bear hesitated. He drenched his own shoes to counter Tony's advantage, and they dueled on live rails with the legendary lightning foot technique. Channeling rail current into their footwork, they unleashed devastating power, clashing in a frenzied exchange. Suddenly train lights blinded them as a locomotive thundered through, forcing them to dive undercarriage for survival. Black Bear's final punch met Tony's palm block. Then a kick sent him sprawling. A falling exhaust fan nearly crushed Tony, but he vaulted skyward, using it to execute a diving palm strike. That finished Black Bear. Boss Black Dragon raced to intercept Tony upon hearing this. The legendary Zero H dominated Tony instantly, demonstrating savage brutality. With a spine-cracking slam and wall-shattering kick, charging forward, he pummeled Tony wildly and seized the moment to snap Black Dragon's arm. He crashed down the stairs, and Black Dragon, struck hard in the head, collapsed unconscious on the spot. Tony urgently called Dog Brother, warning him about the bomb hidden in the ivory. In the midst of this peril, Dog Brother shouted the bomb warning aloud, instantly throwing the scene into chaos. Thus, Black Dragon's plan went up in smoke. Tony rushed the elephant to the beach. If the tusks came loose, the bomb would detonate. As Tony gripped the tusks tightly, Black Dragon miraculously awoke and charged to the scene. Tony blocked with his head, sending Black Bear flying dozens of meters back. Just then, the elder sister appeared, thrusting a poison needle into Black Bear, then drove it deep into his heart with her other foot. Before kicking him down, she leaped for the finishing blow, transforming midair into a folding chair strike. Badly wounded, Tony collapsed to the ground. As Black Dragon seized the tusks, Tony commanded the elephant to hoist him skyward. Summoning his last strength, Tony kicked him flying through the air. The bomb exploded instantly, reducing Black Dragon to ashes, while Tony and the elephant plunged into the sea. Finally, the elephant lifted Tony from the waves. Both survived. A whole gang destroyed, all for an elephant. So remember, never mess with Tony's elephant.